Okay, so I'm back again. It's 1909 hours on, I'm losing track of the date. It's August 10th, 2021. Still. So I'm looking up, let's go to the Mac Mini, look at the price. Are we in Canada? Yep, we're in Canada. That's good. We need to be in Canada. Um, the least expensive one is $900. Okay, so if I want to upgrade the memory, so what I want to research is, do I need more memory? Do I need more memory, or is 8 gigs enough? I don't need a bigger hard drive. I don't think. I can run all my stuff, or maybe I can install my stuff on a different drive too. I don't know, but I can install it on this drive, but run it. No, what am I saying? No, I can run my stuff from the external drive, so I don't care about the internal drive. It'll need something. I guess the internal drive needs something. Can I get 0 internal storage? I think I can, but they won't let me. Because I don't need my internal drive on my other computer. It never hooks up. I can still run the Mac without the internal drive. It doesn't even need it. It's not, even used. I eject the drive. The internal drive on the iMac is non-existent now because it doesn't work. But the external drive can boot the system, so there's no problem. Do I need the M1 Mac Mini memory upgrade or not? We're at 69% done for the render. So the render's going better this time. Maybe when it dropped that frame rate, it dropped a frame and it said, do you want to stop? And maybe that's what it was asking me, and I clicked on that. That's probably what happened. If I just ignored it, it would have kept rendering. That may be what happened. It may have said stop instead of saying okay. I'm not sure now because I didn't really look at it for very long or pay much attention. I just clicked on it. I thought I was going to allow it to continue, but it didn't ever work after that. 70% now done. So let's boost the size of this text here so I can read it. Command plus is how you do that, and command minus is how you make your text smaller. So %, done. I like the progress it's making. What time did we start again? Was it 1909 I said? Well, I can go back later and see the video, but that can't be right. Oh yeah. No, 18. No, wait a minute. says there's 11 minutes left. Okay, we can tell because there's 11 minutes left and we have 25% roughly left to do. So it's a 44-minute render, roughly. You can tell from that, 4 times 11. So it's a 44-minute render. That's what we've been doing. So 44 minutes subtracted from this would be about 1830. We would have started if that's the case. I don't remember the time that I said on the video when we started the render. It may have taken longer or less time than what was forecast anyway by the system. But if it says, I mean, if it's sped up during the time, there might be 10 minutes left, and it might be 75% done. But at some prior time, there might have been a lot more time left if it thought it was going slower. But I don't think it would change. I don't think the speed of the render changes much unless, there's some cause. And maybe we've caused it to slow down, if anything, by using the computer, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be... I'm not going to go back and find out what time we started. Not right now. Well, they're coming out with an M3. If we can wait till 2022, there's an M3 Mac Mini. An M3 Mac Mini using an M3 chip. That's what it sounds like. So that's what I want to read about. To buy a new computer and do it properly, you need to do a research. I mean, a lot of research. A lot of research. A lot of research. And I never used to do that. I used to just buy a new computer, But now now I realize the value of that research is just priceless. Because I did so much research before I bought this computer, I still have a possibility to upgrade now. I don't have to buy a new computer. There's still ways to do it. It's getting more difficult all the time, but there's still ways because I got the Thunderbolt for one thing. Because I got a computer with Thunderbolt. That's one of the reasons why I can do it. It's a big reason, because without Thunderbolt, there'd be no high-speed transfer at all. The external drives would run at a snail's pace. I'd have no way to boot from outside the computer. After my internal drive quit, I'd be dead. But I can boot from externally, and it runs faster than the computer ever ran before. Like, this one is the same computer, basically. It boots in 20 seconds. That computer would have booted in 20 seconds if I didn't add so many programs and get it all cluttered up. So don't add the programs and your computer will boot fast. That's what I think. But let's see, M3 Mac review, or what is it? Mini. 82% done. M3 Mac Mini. Let's look up 2022 and see what we get for that. There we go. Well, when's the M2 coming? Oh, they're in full production of the M2 right now. So the M2 is what? Where's the M2? Wait a minute. So my last video, it was about the audio, but this video is far more important. It's about, I should say the previous the video that I made that was published last was the audio, but the one that I'm publishing now is far more important, which is the nutrition. The one I'm looking at, the one I'm making now, this clip that I'm now making, I don't know when it will be published, but the one that I'm intending to publish, It's now at 85%. That first part one of the fasting video. The fasting video is going to be perhaps lengthy, but it's the most important video that I believe I've ever made in my life by a long ways. It's going to save lives. It's going to make people feel better and healthier, and it's going to take a good shot at the drug companies, and they deserve to be dethroned, and they deserve to be really destroyed. They're evil. But their destruction should come about by just purely by education, by educating the public on how to get health. And I don't think that the drug companies know how to get health. It's not that. They just don't want to know. They don't want to know because they want to make money off people's misery. That's all. Or, or they're well-meaning. A lot of they have to be well-meaning. It's just that they want to make money though off, so they can't be that well-meaning. If you want to make money off people suffering, that's not well-meaning. But they're doing it in the name of helping people who are ill, and all they care about is people buying their product. That's all they care about. They don't care about being honest about whether their products make people better or not. They're not honest when their products don't work to make better health, which is extremely sad and extremely evil, and it's angering. It makes any reasonable person really angry. It takes a lot of willpower not to react in an inappropriate way. But they have to be destroyed if people are going to. The drug companies have to be destroyed if they're going to be prevented from hurting people, or they have to be converted to a new way of doing things. I think most people do want to learn, and maybe the drug companies will learn, but most people generally want to learn. Let's find out about the Apple M2 chip. %93 rendered. We're getting there. It's pretty exciting. I like to have a powerful computer, but it's not all that necessary. It was back when I bought mine, it was necessary because I bought two at the time, two different computers. It was necessary to buy powerful computers because there wasn't much power available back then. But nowadays, video can be done now. Back then video was not really that doable without a lot of trouble. But the computers I bought, I'm doing video now. It's video, This is the faster, the one with more video memory. It's got It's got a gigabyte, I think. 1 gigabyte of video RAM. It's it, VRAM. Not the other one at 500. It's not The other one's not got enough. It doesn't have enough to run these clips. But maybe it's because I was running the clips off the slower hard drives too. I wasn't running them off the SSDs. But why that was because I was trying to conserve space on the SSDs, I guess. I'm not sure. For a while, I ran them. I created a RAID drive, redundant array of inexpensive disks, using all my drives, but all my available drives. But that didn't work. That didn't, because one of the drives had the software RAID that I used, which is built into the Mac OS, it failed. And then when it failed, I lost those drives. All the information on those drives was lost too. Had to reformat them, if I recall. They were just dedicated to that purpose alone, though, so it didn't matter. But I had backups of everything, but I had to recreate some of the backups. It was, a job. We're at 99%. Hang on. Let's go back to DaVinci here and see what's happening. Let's just minimize. Okay. We're rendering the last. It's done. Ah, excellent. It's done. Now let's take a look. Take a look at that. Okay, let's see the clip we just rendered. It's called Timeline. What's this untitled? An hour 42. Nothing there. Okay. Oh, there it is. Ward Green here. 16, 14 hours. Let's scrub through it. I'm scrubbing through. Scrubbing through. Don't know if you can see this. Looks like it's all there. It's got an hour 42. They'll be humble as soon as they accept God. But also the fact that the fact that God is real makes it possible to adopt the theory that all things are created and that nothing comes from nothing. In our world, we don't see computers come out of nothing. They have to be created. So if you don't believe in God, you're not going to believe the computers were created either. So you're not going to be willing to say, how were they created? You see, if you believe in creation by God, you're going to be willing to say, how was it done? When you're willing to say, how was it done, you can learn. So you can learn anything rapidly when you're asking how. If you want to know how. The why is what comes about when you don't believe in God. I think the question why comes up every time. Why? Because you don't know the motivation. And love is the motivation. God is love. So if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in love. So you're going to be asking why all the time instead of how. Or what. Or how much. Or how much. Yeah. That's a really good question. That's the best question maybe ever. This has to do with fasting. How much? That's a really good question. So okay, I'm going offline. That was one of the best videos I've made so far, I think. Okay, that was probably the best clip, but maybe not. Maybe I was referring just to the clip. But that's it. That's the end of that movie. So it's finished. What about this one? Oh, it's a failed movie. It's 3 gigabytes. What is that? Well, that's my other one. That's the other one that I rendered. Yeah. No, it can't open it. Okay, wait a minute. It can't open that. Not able to open that, so we'll delete that. I guess that's our crashed version or something. I don't know what it is. But let's rename this. Call it First Ever 3-Day Fast. What was I going to call it though? I forgot. What was the title I came up with? Besides Miracle Cure or something. But it was something to do with, new brain cells. Yeah. New brain cells. I was going to call it that. New brain cells. Okay. That's what I want to call it. So it's also called, I want to put in brackets, or First Ever 3-Day First ever 3-day fast. Let's capitalize ever. Ever 3-day fast for Ward. Well, that's a good name. I think it's a great name. It's 1 hour 42 minutes. I'm going to put that in there. 1 hour 42 minutes. And that's it. There it is. That's the name. Now, that drive can be carried out to the other room. I don't need to do anything with it. It's done. We're done. So I will just carry that drive out and copy it later, probably, because I'm not going to back it up anywhere out here. I don't have any other drives to connect to. I've got my internal Mac drive. It still works, but I don't use it. I'm going to keep that for someday. Maybe I'll use it someday, right? I should eject that drive and not use it at all. But maybe if I just don't use it, it will just last a long time. Keep it spinning, you know. Maybe that's a good idea. But anyway, that's it. We're done. So let's go here back to DaVinci, okay? Go back to Edit, the Edit tab. Let's save it as Part 2. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? That's before we do that. I've got to call this Part 1. Part 1. It's a good thing that they allow long, file names to be long enough for us to do that. So that's Part 1. That's important. So let's save this as Part 2 now. Come back to DaVinci. Here it is. So we were already doing it. Part 2, and we're just going to say Part 2. No, it's not 2 hours. We don't know the length of it yet. Hours and minutes. Part 2. Save it. Oh, first 3-day fast ever for Ward, yeah. It's got a slightly different name. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to delete all these clips from the timeline. And we want to go, well, let's go back. The last one was 21, okay. 21, we'll go forward. Now we want to go to 22. All these clips are sequential. Here's 22, okay. That's the next one. 23. 24. That's the year my wife was born, my late wife. 24. 25 is here, I think. Is it? I thought I saw it a minute ago. It's not here. Hang on. Oh, there it is. 25. I don't know if I've ever seen it before, but there it is. 26. I've seen here just now. There it is. 26. And there's 27. And 28. How many? Okay, wait a minute. That's. Oh, we've gone to 2 hours. No, we're going to reduce that. We're going to eliminate that one. Okay, let's leave that. Let's go back one. So we're at 1 hour, 38 minutes and 10 seconds. That's where we'll stop. Okay, let's see what that sounds like right at that point. Right, let's see. Trying to do a very similar thing to the Brotherhood. And you know it's love because it makes you cry. It's so, I mean, it makes you cry out of gratitude, and it's because you have to say goodbye to your old self. So crying, they say it's tears of joy, but it's really tears of repentance because you're saying goodbye to that old personality that you had before, and that's why the tears come, and you're accepting a new, better personality. Yes. Because of the love of the Brotherhood that's been shown to you. So, boy, I just about covered every possible aspect of Christianity, but I haven't, because there's thousands of concepts that you can talk about in Christianity, and they're all beneficial to a very high degree at the right time. So let me finish this, and let's sign off for a moment here so I don't lose this. That's it. So there we go. Let's render this. So we go to, I don't know if the first one, it had blank space at the beginning of the first clip, right? But that's okay. Let's go to deliver. Let's go to YouTube 720. Add to render queue. Let's make sure we got the right render queue. Yep, we got the right render queue this time. And we're going to see what it can do here, if it's existing or part 2. There we go. It's rendering. Okay, it started. So it's giving us 30 minutes. It started 30 minutes, but the other one looks like it took 44 minutes, right? I said, based on the, if it had gone constant speed and there was 10 minutes left with 25% left, then it was 40 minutes, roughly. Because 25% is 1/4 of 100%, and 4 times 25% is 100%, and 4 times 10 minutes is 40 minutes. So it was a 40-minute render probably. When it starts right now, it says it's only a 30-minute render, but it goes up and down and up, and it doesn't quite know. So it doesn't know yet, because it depends on what happens and how long it takes. Maybe it took longer because we did the browsing on the internet too. That could be. Anyway, it's good. We can do this. Let's go back. Let's look at this. There's an M2 chip. I want to learn about the Apple's new chips. The new M chips are amazing chips. I'm amazed. What amazes me even almost as much, I'm almost as amazed about the fact that Apple doesn't build powerful systems with these. They could build more powerful systems than what they're building. It's like they're deliberately building these systems that have no power, or they're not building systems with a gigantic, huge, powerful processor that they could build. Instead, they're building little tiny chips. They're building them very low power and little tiny chips with very little crunching power, calculation. It's number crunching power, That's what computers are all about, number crunching power. They crunch numbers. And Apple's not building these computers with the most powerful chips that they could be. I wonder why. I mean, obviously there's a limit somewhere. They don't want to build something that no one's going to use. But it almost seems like they're just dabbling at it. They're just dabbling, or they're just toying with the public and saying, here's a little computer that we built and charge you a lot of money for it, but even though we want you to pay a lot, we're not going to let you have too much power. I think that's what it's like, I wonder if that's happening now more than ever with the internet. People are afraid. These big corporations are afraid that small individual people and companies are going to take over the world. If they have a strong, if they get a powerful enough computer, they'll take over the world in terms of being able to produce. I don't think they're thinking that, but I'm wondering, because why are they building these pathetic little systems when they could be building way more powerful systems? That's the way I'm understanding it, but I don't know if everybody sees it that way. They don't seem to. Everyone else just seems to say, well, there is great new, they criticize the new systems, but they don't say, well, Apple's toying with us. And they also they say, oh, they rave about the new systems and say how powerful it is and how fast it is and how amazing it is. So they don't really, even if they criticize a lot of the features, like they're not given enough ports, or all sorts of criticisms that come in about the new systems that they're being sold, or Apple charges a fortune to upgrade above and beyond the standard model. All these criticisms, yes, but they rave about it at the same time. So if they're raving about it, they're not really seeing it the way I do, which is I see these public released computer systems. What are they called? Commercially available computers. These computers that are sold in the marketplace, I see them as pathetic. I don't see them as powerful. They could sell something 10 times that powerful for half the price, I'm sure. They're not doing it. Why not? It would benefit mankind, but they're not doing it. It would undoubtedly benefit somebody, including mankind. It would benefit the animals, the earth. It would benefit everybody. If we could get power, I mean, those of us who have the ability would do something, we'd really use that power. I mean, if I had a powerful computer, I could do multitasking. If it were reliable, I could multitask and crunch numbers and churn out all kinds of, work on design things and do it all at the same time. You can't do that with a little pathetic little computer that has a weak little processor that does nothing or next to nothing. You need power to do anything. %19 done. Pretty good. I didn't even double check. I need to double check that I'm actually rendering what I think I'm rendering here. What am I rendering? I double check. 22, 3. Four, 5, 6. Yep, it's got the order correct. I think I'll be moving on to something. So if Jehovah's, as reliable as he always is, which I don't doubt that he is and that he will be, then every one of these clips that I do will have a perfect ending on it. I won't even have to, they're going to be 1.5 hour clips, movies, released on YouTube that will all have a perfect ending to them. They'll end with something powerful. If Jehovah is willing, and he seems to be willing so far, so I'm amazed. Well, I think all of these clips are pretty powerful, actually. That's probably why. But I don't want to release them as tiny little clips. I just don't want to do it. I think the kind of work, the kind of things we're talking about, like fasting, requires a lot of investment of effort in learning about it. So therefore, even the 1.5 hour clips aren't going to be long enough to learn about it. But if you go to somebody like Dr. Jamnadas, one of his clips, yes, you'll learn something in pretty short order with those. From me, you'll learn something, but I'm not sure what. But you'll learn a lot of details, scientific details from Dr. Jamnadas. Now, I believe I'm more scientific than anybody, but I haven't learned yet about fasting. So, and Dr. Jamnadas may turn out to be wrong. So, my clips might be a good idea, but my metabolism isn't going to be anything like anyone else's necessarily. I mean, you can't learn directly from me, but it's just it's a testimony about my experience that I think is going to be valuable. 27% done. Well, that's fast. That's amazing. Yeah. I finally learned which way was up, so I don't have to rotate the clips 180 degrees to get them right side up. So hopefully that will continue, that trend. Let's go back to browsing here. So I had a big meal today, this morning, or it wasn't this morning. What am I saying? Something like 4 o'clock or something before I ate. I didn't get up till 1 o'clock. I think maybe I started eating at 1. I'm not trying to keep absolute tabs on everything, but I did keep track of when I did my teeth, so that would be after I ate. So that's good. So I have a record of it. Do I want to get a laptop? I should ask. If you buy a new computer, you should always ask, do I want a laptop or a desktop or what? If I had a laptop, I could be using it in bed, doing my regular computing in bed maybe, which I'm not. But I can't connect to all the hard drives that way, I don't think, unless the Wi-Fi is fast enough. Maybe I don't think I'd try that, but no, it can't be fast enough, not compared to Thunderbolt. So I don't think I'd want to try. I don't think I need. I don't use a laptop. I don't go mobile. If I were traveling, yes. I'm not. So, but everyone should, when they buy a new computer, ask themselves what they want, what they need. I've owned several laptops. I had an Acer laptop, and then I had a Fujitsu laptop, and I had a Umax laptop. That's 3 in a row, I get. I think that's the order they went, and that's how many I had. The Umax had Windows 98. By that point, that was where we were in technology at that time. And then I got the Dell Dimension 8100, which is right there. Yeah, what's that, a mirror? Well, that's my monitor. A reflection in my monitor, or what? What is it? No. Oh no, that's my hand. Yeah. So this is it here. I'm pointing at it. I thought that was a reflection in a mirror. That's the Dell. It's right underneath the keyboard table or unit that rolls around. But it's on a unit that rolls around, but I never roll it around unless I have to. It's good to have things on roll around tables or consoles, because then if you need to redo your flooring, you can just roll them all into one part of the room, do that part of the flooring and roll them over to the good part, do the rest of the flooring. So it's good. Roll around is good, but you don't have to be rolling them around all the time. Okay, 39% done. I want to know, what's the M3 chip going to be like? Yeah. It's an article on the M3 talking about the Mac Pro, and it should have a 5 gigahertz clock rate. That's at least that's like more like 4 times faster than what we've got now. So So currently, when you get a Mac Pro, it's got the Xeon processor. It doesn't have the M1. I wonder what it's going to be like with the M1. You know what? I just realized. You know what? It might happen. I just thought of it now. I promise. It was that I suddenly realized. You know how they came out with these new M1 chips in these lightweight computers? Well, maybe they're not cheaper than before, but I think they're cheaper than before, aren't they? So it's possible that the Mac Pro will come out with the M3 chip and it will be cheaper than before. Like, it might be affordable. That would be fantastic if it was, but I don't see how they can do it. I'm just going to run this clip. We're plugged in. We got power. 45% rendered. We're making progress. That was overwhelming. You see. Try to mind your own business. Would you please? Try to mind your own business. I'm laughing at something that one of the scriptures is translated from the Russian as "try to mind your own business," and that just makes me laugh. It's funny because, of course, we can't really mind our own business entirely. We have to be interacting somehow, you know. But it makes me laugh almost hysterically. Inside, I'm laughing, hysterically. It really, but it's joy. It brings a lot of joy to me, that scripture. A lot of people need to know that the Bible says, mind your own business. And your own business will improve if you mind your business. I mean, it takes, for me, hundreds of hours of research, hundreds of thousands even of hours of research to buy a new computer to make it a good choice, to make it a system that's going to work in the long term. That takes thousands of hours. And it takes, passionate hours of research, like the hours where you really are passionate about what you're learning. And making progress, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful process too, but it's if you didn't know that it was going to benefit you at some point, you wouldn't be able to do it. And if you weren't doing it out of love, you could never do it. So love is crucial. It's key. Okay. 52% rendered. Yeah, they're saying, I totally agree with them saying this, and they're saying that the Apple Mac Pro is the most difficult thing to produce, so it will probably be done last. And I think that's a good idea that makes completely, perfectly good sense, because you're using all the experience you're gaining from producing all these other M1 chip systems from the system on a chip, that you're going to then be able to use that to assist you in your more difficult task of perfecting the Mac Pro, which is going to be, they could have done it first if they wanted to, but then they'd end up with learning things that they could use on the lesser systems, which are not, they're not supposed to be the best they're not the most expensive systems. So they want to learn for the Mac Pro before they build it, which, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And it eliminates possible mistakes they could make on the Mac Pro if they didn't have that experience. It's very, very wise from a safety standpoint to be, yeah, wise but safe in preventing errors, or design, not errors, but design, design um, design features that are less than they might have been, I guess is the way to put it. But I don't doubt that they're working on the Mac Pro right now. They're working on the design right now. It's just going to take longer than the other ones because it's more complex. They've been working on it all along. They might have had the Mac Pro design done before they even started these other M1s. We don't know. I doubt that, but it is possible. But I think we would have heard about that if that were true. 62% rendered. Making progress. Oh my God. I can't say what I'm laughing at because well, I'd have to be withholding the name of the person I'm talking about because I don't want their confidentiality to be damaged, or I don't want their identity to be compromised, so it's just a private thought. So what I've got to do here is read this. %70 rendered. It's such a great. It seems fast, but it's if I guess that's where having a new computer, I would render that in no time flat. That's why I should get a new computer. See, for rendering movies. That's the reason. So I'm about to find out the reason why I want a new computer, and I do want one, and I want to get the. I'm on the verge. I might just buy one right today. I might order one. It's possible. But if I do, well, I can boot off my external drive, right? I'm thinking I need to get, I don't know how it affects things. How many ports does it have? Let me think. Yeah, how many ports? Let's find out how many ports the Apple has. The Mini Mac Mini. How many ports has it got? Oh yeah, do I need the extra memory? Okay. '76. I mean, it goes so fast. I don't know if I want. I need a rest once in a while. So maybe if it rendered fast, I'd work too hard and kill myself by working too hard. So maybe the fact that I have to rest and just wait and wait and wait, maybe that's good. I'll learn to do other things while, like I could be cooking food or if I need to eat. If I'm not on a fast, or if I'm fasting, I could be getting some more water or whatever, doing other things that need doing. Relaxing too. I need to relax, definitely. It's not enough time to go out on a ride on my bike, but I want to do that too sometime. I'm going to be able to do that. I feel like now I don't feel sick when I eat. Big change. Enormous. This is at minute 51, just for me to remember that. 51 and a half. Let's see. 70, 82. 82. Amazing. Find out what's happening. It's called timeline1.movie. Yeah. So we got to rename it. Can I export this? Have I exported it already? I can't do it now. Let's find out if I exported it. Let's see what we got. Nope. Okay, so let's go back. Here's the real advantage. When I research things and when I'm not doing something else, where I'm just waiting. When I'm waiting like this, it slows me down. So I'm thinking, slow down, relax, slow down. That's a good time to do research because you have more time to think about what you're researching and not rushing through it. So I like this method I like the slower speeds. I don't think faster is better because this is going to be fast enough. I'll be able to do, if I can do 1.5 hours in half an hour, that means in 10 hours, I can do 15 hours. Is that right? No. 20. In 5 hours, I can do 15 hours of video. So, in half of that, I can do 7.5 hours of video. So this is a 7.5 hour project. It'll take 2.5 hours. I think it'll take about 3.5 hours, something like that, or 4 hours maybe, something like that. So I started fairly early, and we're working on it now. We've gone about an hour into this. So by midnight, we should be done, you know, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, we should research and, you know, relax. It's cold in here though. I know, I should have a warmer jacket. I can't make it warm. I don't know how to make it warm. I guess open the door. I mean, try to, it's a curtain, it's not a door, but I can try to move it aside. How? How is the question? Nice wood here. I got some zebra wood. I have zebra wood. Nice piece of zebra wood. I can use that zebra wood there like that to hold that door open so it doesn't hold the curtain open, so that'll help the airflow a little bit, I think. Make it warmer in here hopefully. It might. It's good for it to be colder for the computers because they last longer when they're running in a cold climate, you know, cold temperature indoors. But I'm freezing to death. I'm not going to run it that cold. And I've tried the thermostat already. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I've turned off that part of the system. So I guess the parts, the valve, the vents, the louvers that are supposed to close and stop the cold air coming in here have failed, I guess. Something's happened that prevents the cold air from flowing through this part of the house, which is on a separate thermostat. It's not working, so I've got to do something different and figure it out. At some point I'll figure it out, I guess, in more detail, but okay, so yes, I need to go back to the idea of NVMe drives, external drives. They're really fast, and I can use them when I get a new computer. I can suddenly use that. But what I want to research, I have to research all of it to find out, make sure I find out how many connectors I will need to do this or that or the other thing. I can boot my system from an external NVMe maybe. That would be fantastic if I could do that, because it would run so fast. It would boot like in 5 seconds or something. And it would be unheard of speeds for running programs. I think that would be great. I want to do something. I never thought of this until now. I thought of it, but it wasn't real, you know. But I mean, that's the thing. I've thought of it now. It's real. I can actually buy the thing and do it, and it's maybe time. Well, it is time to do it. It's time to do it. It's exciting. That was overwhelming. I know what I was thinking. I'm thinking about whether I need a monitor, what kind of monitor I should get. For now, I might be able to use. I think I definitely can use the iMac as the monitor. I think that, but I'll need to get a monitor. I want to shop for a monitor. That's the thing. If I buy a monitor with this thing, it'll be forever with it. But then, what will I do with the old computer if I'm not using this? Where will it go? Like, what room of the house will it be in? Who will be using it, etc. What will it be? Like, yeah, I'm not going to want to boot off this same old system. This system could stay the way it is. I guess if I get this new faster system, it'll be my daily computer maybe, not this computer. This is fast enough for the studio, plenty fast. I don't need a super fast computer for the studio. It just would be not only overkill, but it would be stupidity if unless I use it every day. But if I want to encourage myself to work every day in the studio, then maybe I should put the powerful computer in the studio. You see, there's reasoning and rationale behind assisting yourself and your motivation. And I forgot, or I'm trying to come up with the words, or I forgot the words. I don't think I forgot the words. I was just trying to come up with them. There's reason for it's vocabulary that I've forgotten. I guess it's words I forgot. Things that you don't forget it. You lose it because you forget it because you don't use it. That's why. Words that you forget because you don't use them often enough. But if I have there's there's reasons why you could do something. I mean, doing things a different way can motivate you differently, and that's not to be neglected in designing a system. So, I mean, because if I have my powerful system in here, I'm going to want to use this every day. I want to use the fastest system. I'll be right here in this room. However, that's not going to happen if I'm freezing to death in here. So hopefully opening that door up is going to help me right now. I can put a little heater in here. Yeah, I can do it. But it makes noise. It's one thing. Well, no, they don't all make noise. They don't. Some of them are just lights, shine lights. They don't make any noise. I just need a heater on my legs to keep my legs warm. That's all. But I think it's warming up in here already. It's warmed up a little. So, yeah, I need some time to relax. It's done! I don't know how long it's been done for. It's been done though. Let's see. Created. It was done at 7:26. No, that's the other one. It was done at 8:08. 5 minutes ago it was done. We missed that. Okay, so let's copy this. We were 5 minutes not wasted because we're working on things. It's 1 hour and 38 minutes. So I'll change that. And it's part 2. I'll change that. That's it. We've rendered 2. Now let's check it. Check it out. Here it is. We're going to scrub through it. Yeah, I went out to the kitchen a few times there. In this one. There it is, done. Good, so that's it. That one's done. We're done. Now we go back to this. Let's delete that project. We're going to go back to edit. We'll save this as a new name. Part 3. Right. Good name. All right. We'll delete these. And what where were we? 26, so we're going to go to 27 next. Here it is. One of these clips might be longer. We don't know. Jehovah knows, right? 27, 28. That's the last one, I think, in this sequence, right? Oh, you know what? That's I got to put the lock in place so it doesn't overlap. The clips don't overlap by accident. So it's got to be snap lock has to be on, snap grid or whatever it's called. Okay, so we got to do this like a lot of programs have that snap to the grid. If you're doing any visual work, graphical work. So this is a graphical representation of the audio, so we need to snap to the grid to help us to do things well. Let's find out what's our next clip. Let's go back to our master folder. We're on, was that 128? Yeah, we've done 128, we're going to 129. The next one is 0613. I think it's this one. Yeah, here it is. This is the next one. So it's a long one. It's 0613. And then after that, it starts with a new number sequence. 1930, 32, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 30, 32, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're not going to do all those though, probably. But now where's 1930? Do we even have it here? Just a minute now. There it is. Yeah, very good. 1930. 30, 32, 33, 35. Okay. 30. No, we're already over 2 hours. Are we? No, we're not. Okay, so this is 30. And now we're over 1 hour and 40. So we're done. That's what we need there. Now let's see how this one ends. Undo the snap. We're up to 146. So that's another point. That's how it ends. About seeing, the birds flying and the animals, the creatures of all of creation. Does it make you happy or does it make you worried? That can be immediately made much better by a fast. Because your body just heals everything. Your gut is healed by the fast. That's the other thing. The gut is healed, or it's in the process of healing. It partially heals during a fast. So 3-day fasts for right now. Question is now, when is my next 3-day fast going to be? And it's going to be, I think it'll be as soon as I can get the wherewithal to feel like, yes, I'm ready, But that's when it will be, because I want to lose more weight. I want to grow more brain cells. I want to cleanse my intestines more. But I think to cleanse the intestines, at some point I'll have to do a longer fast. So if I don't, the thing is, I may have to do the longer fast before it's too late, because if I don't do that, I won't have been enough fat to do a longer fast. So I have to think about that. I'll think about that. I may want to do one long fast instead of multiple short fasts. But this is Ward Green, 1048, August 8th, 2021, signing off. 146, okay. So that's ready to render now. So we're going to render. Go back here. Fortunately, it remembers where we're rendering to. It's really good. Add to the render queue and start. That's that easy in DaVinci. So DaVinci is a very powerful program. I could do a lot more editing in DaVinci, but I don't have to. This is how easy it is to use the best program. I think the best I know of, free, the best free program. But it's free, and it is the best, I think, also, as well as being free. It's not just the best, or not just free. It's both the best and free. But you can get, the paid version of it, I guess, too, right? I mean, many more features and things. But you don't need it for most. I mean, you can do a lot of professional work with the free version. I know you can. I know it's powerful. But, you can also add animation or things, you can add more. There's other ways. There are programs that are designed to work with DaVinci to help you produce more complex titles and things. You know, the basic text features that DaVinci has are pretty rudimentary, pretty simple. So they may not be adequate for some people. But I mean, as it is. But you can definitely, even in the free version, you can definitely use other programs with it, you know, to do that. You don't need to pay anything yet, unless those other programs might, unless they cost something. But I'm pretty sure you. Well, I'm not sure at all, but I'm sure enough to say that there's usually always something you can do for free that's powerful in software with computers. And now the problem is, I guess the only problem is it's not Windows. Windows, there are way more options in Windows usually. But I don't know with DaVinci whether it's, I'm pretty sure you can use it in Windows, can't you? I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't even know that. I'm up to an hour 11 now on this clip. But no, I don't know anything about this because I'm not interested in doing it at the moment. I guess if we're producing something for children, we have to do something. You know, we have to do something more visually appealing, which is going to be, you know, cartoons or graphical enhancement of not just text, but, you know, well, you could animate text. You know, you can do things that would appeal to children, and you cut more color. You can put color in the text as it is, even with the free version without any enhancement or any other program. I'm not even interested right now in doing that because I'm trying to save the lives of the elderly, I guess, first of all. But the children are very important, and we have to immediately do something to help them. Yeah, that makes me think. Well, there's another song I'd like to master too, but I don't seem to have the time right now. Because some of my brothers are dying as we speak. Okay, let's go back. 10% done already. But it's going to be an hour 46. Let's go back to our research. Right. Yeah, I can't resolve yet how I'm gonna get rid of my old computer if I get a Mac Mini. What am I gonna do with my old computer? Am I going to? I want to use this as the monitor though. I don't see why I can't do that. Oh, maybe because it's not fast enough as a monitor. You know, maybe it doesn't move fast enough to do what you need to do in animation or on movies, or maybe it's not a fast enough response in the monitor. I don't know. Is that possible? I just don't have an idea yet. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of this. I don't even want to shop for another monitor until I understand what I'm going to do with this one. it's not funny at all, but it seems funny because you want to tell people, you want to encourage people to communicate with you, but then you want them to mind their own business. So how are you going to get them to share what they're doing with you? I guess that's fair. It is fair, but it seems funny. But it's not really funny. It's very fair because you're not saying, you're not saying that. I mean, you're minding your own business. You're just saying, give me all your best, and whatever that is. So you don't have to give me anything, So you are minding your own business. But so whatever it is, give me all your best. If your best is nothing, then give me nothing. So it actually works pretty well, but it seems funny because it's a bit of a paradox, I guess, or a contradiction of some kind. So what are we doing here now? You can tell when you're reading an article that's not inspiring. It doesn't read with any kind of interest. There's no interest in reading it. Oh, look, they're building a half-sized Mac Pro. I just saw that here. That's the first I've heard of it. A half-sized Mac Pro. Half-sized. Right? I mean, that will cost half as much, maybe. But it's still going to be too expensive, though. But that's what I would want something. Oh, I'd want as much power as I could get, probably. But because the more power you have, the more you use. I mean, the more power you have, the more. Like if I had bigger drives, I wouldn't make more redundancy necessarily, but I'd be able to shoot more video all the time, and because I wouldn't worry about running out of storage space, so I could shoot video all the time. That's one thing that would happen immediately if I had more space. So. One for the money, yes. Half-size Mac Pro. Yeah, I still didn't find out. Do I need here it is.
That's a Chromebook with apps for whatever you or for getting it done.
31%. 30. I'm afraid I can't watch a video while it's rendering because it might. Well, DaVinci's rendering something. It might crash or something, or it'll slow it down anyway. So I just want to read what he's saying here. Maybe I can watch it. Maybe not. Let's see. Wow. I guess we need more memory based on this. This gentleman found he had problems with the 8 gigabytes. He needed to return his purchased computer and get a replace it with the 16 gigabyte model. Double it. He needed to double the memory. Is it worth the upgrade? Here's another person. I don't want videos. We're at 35% of render. So we're making, it's going along, it's coming along, but now let's relax a little bit. Let's read and learn. I'd like to do them all before I upload the first one, but, I could, you know what I could do right now is I could transfer the other one. I could go, let's transfer one to the other room. I could then go start uploading it onto YouTube. Or at least, processing it with the other computer. That's what I'll do. That's what I should be doing. It's enough time wasted now. That's a waste of time. We've been just sitting here. I need to go to the other room and do that, right? So we got part 1. How big is it? Oh my God, wait. No! You're kidding. That's wrong. Something is wrong with it. No, I can remove this drive though. No, I can't because I'm rendering out of the drive. When this render's done, I can, what can I do? Yeah. I don't know. There's something wrong. Part 1 is 89 megabytes with 89 gigabytes. 87 gigabytes. Pardon me. 87. It still doesn't matter. It's way too much. It's way more than it should be. The other one is 7.6. That's part 2. That one worked. Part 2. Well, wait a minute. Let's look at part 1 again. It runs, doesn't it? Yeah. It's just something wrong with it. But I think when we compress it using Handbrake, it'll fix that size problem. There's nothing wrong with it. It seems to play fine or scrub fine. Guess it's okay, but there's definitely a mistake made in it that causes it to use way too much memory. And when we use Handbrake to compress it, the only question is going to be, can it get it compressed down to a good size without, and I mean, will it compress it down to a reasonable size and still preserve it, or are we in trouble with this part 1? Isn't that interesting? Jehovah always does that to me. He always sets me up to learn something different. He always does that. I know he doesn't do that with everyone else. He does it with me. And maybe it's something I do, but whatever it is, it happens to me. Very interesting. What do I do? It's a challenge. I have to figure it out. I could download I could install Handbrake right now and start using it right here. See if it works. I just don't. I don't know. 46% done, rendered. But I'm 3.3 gigs. I'm not happy though with part one. Does that mean I have to render it again? It's an hour and 42 minutes, 87 gigabytes. It shouldn't be 87 gigabytes. Oh, wait a minute. I have a feeling when I re-rendered it, I rendered it in the wrong format. That's what happened. Yep. So I don't get it. Let's find out what the quality's like. Okay. Like if I maximize this. Does it look any better?
Day.
That was it. But the mainstream is wrong about everything. So it's just and have ready to learn. I can learn these things because yeah, the 2 hours before, and it was different shapes. And to do that, it used to be the other way around. Part one. I don't understand why it's. I have a feeling I used the wrong video format. So if I go to the default, what's the default video format? I wonder. I don't know. Uh-oh. I have to quit. Wait, this is upside down. We gotta stop. Okay, we're gonna cancel this. We're gonna stop. We can't render this because it's got one of the clips is upside down. Okay, so this is our second clip that was upside down, but we didn't edit it. We gotta go to color. Here it is. Put it right side up. There we go. We're done. Go back to, we can start delivering, but I don't think I want to deliver now. What I want to do is save this again. Okay, so let's save it. And I want to export as this will be part 3. How long is it? It was going to be 146, wasn't it? Yeah. It was going to be 146, so I'll say that, and we're going to have to call it number 4 because part 2 we need to have space for that. So there we go. So that's the best I can do right now with that. Come back to edit. It's not working. It's not right side up. Okay. Yeah.
It's August 8th.
Yeah, it looks correct. Okay, it's how long is it? Let's go to the end. 146, yeah, so that's right. So we're correct about that. So let's open. How do you open something here? This is strange. No way to close a file. There's no way to close a file. New project. You can't close this file without closing DaVinci? You could import a project. Let's try that. Let's try. Uh-oh. I'm going to close DaVinci, okay. I'm going to reopen it, but that's just very, very... Okay, here it is. Let's do it. We're reopening DaVinci, and then we're going to try to back up that. I don't know why they do that. Maybe it's to prevent the program from crashing. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. This is probably part 2. Doesn't exist. We're going to have to deliver part 1 again, I think, but maybe not. We're going to, what I want to do is I'll eject that drive and take it out and see what I can do out in the other room. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that. That's important. We do that. Okay, so where was this plugged in? Oh, yeah, I can leave this cord here. Just disconnect this charger. This is just a drive that could be powered down. I've got to eject it. No. I'm going to take a break. Okay, I'm turning on the camera again. I've got to get the light on. The monitors give me the light that I'm using. I'm not using other ambient light. It's not using the other. But I've rotated this thing, so it's not going to work unless I re-rotate it again. I mean, do it again to a new angle here. Then it will maybe work. There we go. That's better. That can work. That could work. It's got to be adjusted. I just need to get this tweaked here. I need to tweak this. There we go. It's better, I think. Yeah. So something like that might work. Okay. How was it before? More like that. Okay, I'm going to plug it in too for power. I got to type my password. Hang on. Good. Now I have more light, and I don't have to worry about losing that. Okay. Let's see. Plug this in. I need to try. I've got the hard drive already hooked up. It's in a dockable hard drive. Okay. So here we are. Got the data, movie transfer, DR render. We got. Oh, there's part 2. I renamed it. Right? Is that right? Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. What happened? No. Something is really strange here. No, that's the wrong. No, it isn't. No, I don't understand what happened. I don't get it. I don't understand what happened. And I'm missing one of the parts. This is really, really difficult. To stay organized is difficult. There's part 2. Oh yeah, that's right. I had to cancel part. Yeah, so it's not these problem. It's not these that were the problem. Okay, so we're ready to go here. So let's get part one. Let's try and render it with handbrake. Can we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Here we go. Oh, there are. Okay, it's already running. Let's take it over here where we can see it. Let's set it up to do this. Let's browse for the destination. We want to create it somewhere. Where do we want to create this? Here, I think. No, I think we'll create it in the same location. It's not going to be a big file, so we'll create it in the excuse me, same place where it was, where it is. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or a bad idea. We need to start learning. So here we have it, the render right here. So we want to recreate it in this location. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Saving it? What's that? Oh yeah, it's calling it MP4. Okay, that's good. Good. Perfect. It's ready. Let's get the preview, make sure. Wait, no, I don't want a preview. Where are you, Henry? Where'd you go? I want the picture settings. It quit unexpectedly. Oh no. Okay, so let's change our source. We gotta start over. So we're already experiencing a few problems. DR render. Part 1. That's part 1. No, we're not going to render it there. Well, we could. No, I don't want to do that. I want to render it back to its identical location. Can't I do that? Because it won't be as big. There we go. Pretty exciting. I need to set the quality up, so maybe 1,000. We got to go to quality and raise it to, I don't know, 30, 31. A 1,000. I don't think that the last settings we used were good enough. I mean, I don't, wait a minute, the last time I did it, I need to look it up. Yeah, I need to find out. I've got no light. No wonder it's dark. No wonder it's dark. You have no light. Here. It's very nice, isn't it? Walking very well here. Okay, so our next thing is going to be, this is difficult, very difficult. When was our last video published? Where did we write it down? The video settings. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, there was the 29.5 1500. Right? So I could just do constant quality. But I used a bit rate last time. Maybe if I go with yeah. Oh, I did them both the same. But earlier I'd used 32 or something. But my average bit rate was 800. So it was a totally different average bit rate. What if we go with an average bit rate of 1000? Let's try that. How long is it going to take to render? That's the question. You know? It's so big, it's going to take an hour. It just can't be right. No, but if it's going to be an average bit rate of 1000, it'll be the right size file. It'll just take a long time to render. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Let's stop. No, we got to stop. Wait. I need to copy this from this drive so I can bring the other drive back to the other room and continue with that. I have to copy these two files. That's the important thing, to the DR render of some other drive here. That's what I'm overlooking. That's what I forgot to do. I have to start from one of these drives, you know? Paste those two items there. Oh God, one of them is 87 gigabytes. You see, I can't do it. 10 minutes to copy. I have to re-render that. It just doesn't make sense. Stop. I have to stop. Okay, so what we got to do, I realize now I have to re-render it. There's no doubt. Got to re-render the first one. So this one, that's the other one, the 87 gigs, I'll keep it, but I can't use it. So I got to copy this one, the other one, part 2. That's what we'll do. Part 2, right here. Copy that. That won't take as long. And then we could try rendering that as a test render to see what we're doing here. See what we think we want. That makes sense, I think. Okay, so now we have to get a new source, and that's copied. We'll go to data center. Data center, still takes about, a good few minutes, good few seconds to copy that. There it is, done. There it is. Okay, so let's open that. It wants to, okay, it doesn't want to render it where I want to render it, so I gotta go, let's render it to the same place where I'm coming from here. Right, good, I think so. And there it is. Let's see how long that's going to take to render. Well, let's look at the picture settings. Yeah, they're correct. 720p. Let's get our speed setting. We could get an average bit rate, or we could do a constant quality. What if we do a constant quality about 31? What happens? "54 minutes. It's going to take 44 minutes to do it. So while that's happening, at 31, RF31, new brain cells. Part 2. Time, 21:03. I don't really need to eat right now. I feel like I could fast, but because I eat a lot of food. But let's go back. I need to go back to the other room. I need to get my disc. I need to eject that disc. Okay, so I got to stop this video. I got to eject the disc and go back to the studio. Okay.